Good afternoon and welcome to Pope John High School and Pope John Middle School in Sparta, New Jersey. For today's kickoff and home opener for the Pope John 10 and under squad, the Lions taking on the Sayreville Junior Bombers. Mike Formasano along with you. Opening kickoff getting started a little late today due to thunderstorms in the area. We are at 4:27 in the afternoon. And kickoff starting now as Sayreville is looking to kick off from their own 40-yard line. Let's do it. Sayreville versus Pope John. Here's the kickoff down the field. Picked up by Pope John off the helmet of one of the linemen, 96, and he is taken down at about the 42, maybe 43-yard line. Sorry about the late start. Here we just got rosters in there trying to move things along as quickly as possible because of the 90-minute delay. And with Pope John and their uniforms back ordered, we have a roster of numbers, but they are a little different. We will try and go through the roster with you what we have and then get you updated as we go. So Pope John will start from their own 43. 9:56 to go in the first quarter. First play from scrimmage. The quarterback, number 23, Sean Klevitz, is behind center. 3 in the backfield. Betty Platt, the tailback, and the handoff goes to Platt. Number 5 goes across the 46 into the 47, and it should be a gain of about 4 for the Lions. 2nd and 6 to go. So let's go ahead and go over the roster that we do have for Pope John and what they will be throughout the season. Number 4 is Connor Hart. Number 5, Betty Platt. Number 7, Kevin Murphy. Number 8, Charlie Formasano. Lions up to the line. 2nd and 6 to go. Handoff goes to number 8. Now there's a different number 8 than Formasano. That is not listed there, I believe. I don't have an update as far as who that is. So we will go with it because Formasano is on the line, and that's not him. So a different number 8 for Pope John. So we'll go with the running back there as best as possible. Third down, Klevitz goes ahead and hands it off to the tailback. Across the 50-yard line down to about the 48, they're going to come up about a yard shy, and that'll bring up 4th down. So 4th and 1 for the Lions here against Sayreville. We are just underway from Pope John High School, Pope John Middle School in Sparta, New Jersey. The Lions taking on the Junior Bombers from Sayreville. Clemens will hand it off to Platt. Platt gets tripped up at the 49, and it'll be a turnover on down. Sayreville will take over. So, the Lions moving now to defense as they failed to get the first down. Sayreville start from their own 49-yard line. Let's continue to go over the roster that we do have. Number 9 is Braden Colson. Number 10, Matias Munoz. Number 11, Damian Morales. Number 12, Danny Filato. 13 is John McCann. Anthony Reale is number 15. Max Fido, number 16. Here's the opening play from scrimmage for Sayreville on offense. Quarterback under center. He's a snap in the shotgun, and he'll roll out to the left, trying to get around the end. He does. He's down to the 40. Now the 30. The 25 to 20, all the way down to about the 10, and the Lions finally bring him down at about the 6-yard line. So a huge gainer for Sayreville as they are in, about the 5 or 6-yard line. I'm going to mark it the 5. So 1st and goal for the Bombers at the 5-yard line. 2 minutes in, here first quarter between the Lions and Bombers. The Lions 0-1 in this schedule. They lost to Freehold last week, 21-0. The Bombers are 1-0. They defeated Southern for their home opener, 20-6. Here's the run up the middle, and the Lions, like a stone wall, slam down the runner, and they hold him at bay. 2nd and 10, 2nd and goal to go, I should say, from the 5, maybe 6-yard line. Continuing with the roster here, we got number 8 is Dominic Diarco. Number 21, Chase Whaley. Number 22, Mackay Moon. Number 23, the quarterback, Sean Klevitz. Number 24, Lucas Castro. 26, Braden Convey. Number 30 is Ryan Hart. Number 33, Ryan Lambreglia. 40 is Jacob Jessamaria. 43, Tyler Killen. Number 45, Jude Cofrancesco. Number 61, Anthony Grego. We'll continue that in just a second. Sayreville up to the line. 2nd and goal to go for the Bombers. Here's a snap, run up the middle. Gets to about the 3-yard line and is stopped there, and they'll go to 3rd down. Just to finish out this roster really quick, number 87 for the Lions, Anthony Grego. I'm sorry, it's 61. 87 is John Bordoon. 88, Noah Kraus. And number 99, Matt Schultz. The head coach of the Junior Lions 10 and under squad is Jared Cofrancesco. Assistant coach Dan Platt. Team manager Kathy Jessa Maria. 6:26 to go here, opening quarter from Pope John High School and Middle School. And we got a timeout. Nope. Sayreville players starting to run off the field. And now they're coming back to the line. So now here's a snap. Shotgun. Rolls to his right. One Pope John player after him. He turns the corner. Is he able to get in? He's in. Touchdown, Sayreville. The Bombers go up 6-0 on Pope John. So a rollout to the right on 3rd down. And that gives Sayreville the first points of the game. They are up 6-0 with the extra points pending. So Sayreville back in the huddle. As I said, the Bombers 1-0 and the Lions 0-1. They went down to Freehold last week, Pope John did, and lost the opener of the season 21-0 to the Revolution. And now the Lions trying to even their record at 1. An inauspicious start for Pope John. We'll see what happens the rest of the game. Here's a handoff up the middle. No good. Pope John stands him up at the goal line. So Sayreville's not able to get in. And the Lions keep this game 6-0. 6:10 to go in the first quarter. Sayreville on top by 6. So next week, Pope John will be here at Sparta taking on the Riverview Chargers. If you remember from last year, the 10 and under squad in their home opener in a downpour, Riverview took on Pope John, and they defeated the Lions 8-6. Rest of the schedule for Pope John this season: they go to Manalapan to take on the Braves the week after next. Then they're back home against Rumson, at Hamilton, and at Asbury Park. And then the finale of the season, October 16th on a Sunday, against Toms River here at Pope John High School. So here's the kick by Sayreville. Picked up by number 88. That's Noah Kraus, and Kraus will fall on it. And Pope John will start from about 42-yard line. About the same place that they did on their opening drive. They failed to get a first down. Then Sayreville was able to march it down the field quickly, get into goal territory, and able to punch it through on the right side on the south end of the stadium. 6-0 Sayreville here, about halfway through the first quarter. Mike Formasano along with you joining us for this game. Thanks for joining us. Pope John up to the line. Lions in their home blues, trimmed by white and gold. Here's the handoff up the middle. That is number 61, Anthony Grego. Grego takes it for about 8. And so it'll be 2nd and 2. Clements running back onto the field here for the Lions. Lions come out of the huddle. Here's a snap. Clements takes it, gives it to the fullback. And up the middle for Pope John. First down. Down to the 44-yard line. Lions have their first down, of the game. 5:29 to go. First quarter, sorry. Doing too much hockey lately. Lions up to the line here at the Sayreville 44. 1st and 10. Klebitz hands it off to Platt. Platt up the middle, rolls to his right, gets around one defender, now another. Platt still going and finally brought down at the Sayreville 39. So, a gain of about 7 for Benny Platt. And the Lions will have a 2nd and 3. Pope John has to get to about the 34-yard line here for another 1st down. Pope John up to the line. Pitch out to the left to Platt, and he's met in the backfield by Sayreville. That's number 40 for the Bombers. Brings down Platt. And so that'll move things back to about, 3rd and long at the 45-yard line. Pope John has to get to the 36 of Sayreville for a 1st down. So 3rd and 9 for the Lions. Klebitz up to the line. 3 in the backfield. Now to Platt to his right. He's met right at or about a yard behind the line of scrimmage by the Bombers' defensive lineman. And that's going to bring up 4th down. Referees will spot the ball at the Sayreville 47. Klebitz receiving instructions from the coaching staff. Now back into the huddle. So 4th and, I would say 9, maybe 11. 47 and 36. 4th and 11. Klebitz will throw the ball. Gets downfield. It's tipped by Sayreville. Incomplete. And a turnover on downs. Klebitz was going for number 96. But too far out of his reach, and it was tipped by the quarterback for Sayreville, and now the Bombers will take over. 3:02 to go here, 1st quarter. Bombers up on the Lions, 6-0. Pope John back on defense now. So Sayreville coming up to the line here. Sayreville 1-0 on the season. Pope John at 0-1. Starting from their own 47-yard line. Bombers in the shotgun. Man in motion. Handed off to the man in motion. Comes across the right side, down to the left, down to the bottom of your screen. Still on his feet. Finally brought down at about the Pope John 45. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 2. Timeout on the field. 2:47 to go. Sayreville and Pope John. We got an injured Lion on the field as the coaching staff comes out to attend to him. Pope John still attending to the player down on the field. Looks like a possible right thigh injury. Or calf, right calf injury. It's lower part of the leg. The trainer stretching it out. We'll get you a number of the players as soon as we see. So the Pope John player's sitting up now, and that's good to see. Okay, that's number 61, Anthony Grego, and coach is helping Grego off the field, so he's able to walk off on his own power, however. That's good to see. And now the players returning to the field. 2:47 to go, first quarter. Sayreville on top of Pope John, 6-0. So the referee spot the ball at the 45 of Pope John. Sayreville in the shotgun. 6 on the line for Pope John. Now the running back goes ahead and cuts through to about the 42-yard line, and that's good enough for Sayreville first down. Bombers looking to add to their 6-0 lead. Failed on the point after attempt up the middle, as Pope John was able to stop him there. Pope John coming up empty on their first 2 possessions of this first quarter. Sayreville now on their second drive of the game. Bombers up to the line here from the Pope John 41. First and 10. Up the middle by Sayreville down to about the 38. We'll call it the 38. Gain of 3 for Sayreville. That'll make it 2nd and 7 to go. Bombers in the huddle. Pope John already to the line. 5 on the defensive line there for Pope John. 5 in the backfield and then 1 safety. Quarterback in the shotgun, man in motion. Hands it off. No, he keeps it. He'll roll to his left. He's got a blocker. And he continues up to the 30, to the 25. And finally brought down at about 18-yard line. So, good run by Sayreville there by that quarterback. He had the quarterback keeper, goes all the way around to his left. And with a minute to go here in the first quarter, Sayreville on the march again, now in the red zone at the Pope John 18-yard line. Clock running, 36 seconds to go. First and 10 for Sayreville at the Pope John 18. Quarterback in the shotgun, man off the right in motion. Hands off to him, and he cuts through the left side, and he's down to about the 16, maybe 15-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be second down. And it looks like that will commence to start the second quarter. As time winds down here on the new scoreboard at Pope John High School and Middle School. They replaced the old one from last year. It looks brilliant. But the score does not for Pope John, as Sayreville leads at the end of the first quarter, 6-0. We'll be back to Sparta, New Jersey for second quarter action for the Pope John Junior Lions and Sayreville Bombers right after this. Welcome back to Pope John High School and Middle School here in Sparta, New Jersey for this Pope John Junior Lions 10 and under game against the Sayreville Bombers. Mike Forbesano along with you calling today's action. Thanks for joining us. A thunderstorm that rolled through here at about the 2:30 hour during the 14 and under game pushed this one back about an hour and a half. But we are underway as we start the second quarter as the handoff goes to the running back for Sayreville to the right. Brought down at about the 10-yard line by the Pope John defense. That looked to be number 40, Jacob Jessamaria, with tackle. Now number 8, Charlie Forbesano coming into the game for the Pope John Junior Lions on the defense. As number 29 looks to come off here for Pope John. It's one of the alternate numbers, so we're unsure of who that is at this point in time. Pope John should be getting their full uniforms hopefully by next week's game, so we'll have the full rosters for you with the correct accompaniment of numbers. But we'll do our best right now. 6-0. It goes to the left. Runner goes ahead and avoids the tackle. Now trying to get around the corner. He breaks down the tackle and into the end zone for a Sayreville touchdown. The Bombers, on 2 rushing touchdowns now, have built a 12-0 lead. So 9:06 to go here to start the second quarter, and the Bombers up 12-0. Sayreville up to the line, attempting the extra point. Here it is. Fumble. And Pope John looks to have recovered, so no extra point for Sayreville. So that will keep the score 12-0. So the defense coming through for Pope John there on the second extra point attempt for Sayreville, denying them those extra points. We'll see if that matters as we get into the second half. And if Pope John can come back, they're down 12-0 right now. But again, with 10 U games, the points could go on the board in a hurry. And Pope John has shown that in past seasons that they can collect those points very quickly. So looking for an optimistic side here for Pope John. It's that they have stopped Sayreville twice for those extra points. And Pope John has the capability of getting points themselves in a hurry, and they get back into this game. That is the hope. We'll see what happens. 12-0 Sayreville on top of Pope John early here in the second quarter. Here's the kick from the 40-yard line down to about the Pope John 40, and it's picked up there by number 11 for Pope John. He'll turn the corner, come up the middle. Damian Morales brings it to the 50-yard line for Pope John. So a good return for Morales, and the Lions will start at midfield. 8:59 to go, second quarter. Sayreville on top of the Lions, 12-0. Pope John in the huddle. Now they come up to the line right on the 50 at midfield. Well, we got a whistle on the play. And now they start the clock. Here's the handoff to Clements, and we have another whistle as the handoff went to Platt. And we have a timeout on the field by Sayreville just as the play was coming off. So Sayreville calls timeout. 8:57 to go here in the second quarter. The Bombers lead the Pope John Junior Lions 12-0. And as I said, schedule for Pope John after this week, they have a 12 o'clock start on Sunday against the Riverview Chargers. Riverview taking down Pope John last year in the first game in a downpour in late August. 8-6 against Pope John, 10 and under last season. We'll see if the Lions can get some payback. And then after that, future opponents for Pope John, they go down to Manalapan and take on the Braves. Then they're home to Rumson, at Hamilton, and at Asbury Park, right on the Jersey Shore, October 9th. And then to close out the season on Sunday, October 26th, they're back home to take on Toms River. So this is the home opener for the Pope John 10 and under squad. They are back to the line as the timeout is over. Coach Co Francesco with a strong squad. We will see how they respond to being down here 12-0. Klebitz takes the ball, hands it off, fumble. And it looks like Sayreville has recovered. So, fumble by the running back for Pope John. And the Bombers recover. That looks like Platt, who dropped it at about the 48-yard line, trying for a little extra yardage, and it just scored it out before his knee touched down. Sayreville jumps on it, and the Bombers will take over. So, unfortunate break for Pope John, and we'll see if the defense can respond. 8:51 to go, second quarter. Sayreville on top of Pope John, 12-0. Lions with the defense, 5 on the defensive line. Five in the secondary, and then actually 6 in the secondary. You got 5 in the linebacker and corners up, and then the 1 safety. So Sayreville quarterback in the shotgun from their own 48. Number 2, he'll take it, roll right, and a defender to meet him. That's Klebitz. Klebitz holds him up. Now a couple of other defenders come in, and they bring him down for a loss. Great defensive play by Pope John, and a loss of 8 as Sayreville goes back to their own 40-yard line. Klebitz with the big move there, being able to grab at number 2 for Sayreville and hold him in position until he got some reinforcements. A couple of Pope John players came in to finish the tackle and dropped Sayreville for an 8-yard loss. Clock running, 8:10 to go here in the first half. The Bombers up 12-0. They are on their 40-yard line, 2nd and 18. Here's the run to the left. Klebitz and Platt able to bring down number 36 for Sayreville. Great defensive play by Pope John. Only a gain of 1 there for the Bombers. And that'll make it 3rd and long. So as the season goes on, you see things that'll come together, and we're seeing it right here with Pope John's defense starting to come together. They did let up the 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, but we see here in the second quarter 2 great defensive plays, and we'll see what kind of momentum that the junior Lions are able to get from this. 3rd and 17 for the Bombers. Quarterback in the shotgun. 1 man in the backfield. Here's the snap. Tried to hand it off, but the rusher wasn't there, and so now he rolls out to the right. Number 2, around the corner, because he breaks the corner, down to the 50, to the 45. Enough for the first down, and he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Tough break for Pope John. It looked like they had him for a loss in the backfield. He was able to squirt free, roll up the right side on the far side of the field, and was able to get past the first down marker. And so Sayreville with a first down at the Pope John 38-yard line. So the Lions will look to regroup now. 1st and 10 from their own 38 as Sayreville comes up to the line in just a minute. Still in the huddle. Clock's running, 6:26 to go in the second quarter. So the Bombers up to the line. Quarterback in the shotgun, one man in the backfield. Here's a snap, handoff to the tailback, and he's met at the line and brought down by the Pope John defense. Great defensive effort by the Lions. Looks like Sayreville lost a yard on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 11 from the Pope John 39. Number 1 coming into the game for Pope John. That is one of the alternate numbers, so we're not sure who that is. Bombers up to the line. Halfway through the second quarter here from Pope John High School and Middle School in Sparta, New Jersey. The Sayreville Junior Bombers lead the Pope John Junior Lions 12-0. Here's the snap to the quarterback. He'll keep it. Rolls around the left. Clements got a hand on him, and he's still on his feet. To the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Sayreville. So Clements had him in his grasp, but the quarterback eluded him on a second effort. We do have a flag down on the play, so let's see what the referees say. It's a face mask against the defense. So it looks like the 5 yards will go on the kickoff. So Sayreville looks to add to their lead. It's 18-0. The Bombers over the Lions. So those 5 yards against Pope John will go on the kickoff. Sayreville back to the hash mark for the point after attempt. They come out of the huddle. Quarterback in the shotgun. Tailback in the backfield behind him. Is the snap. He keeps it. He rolls to his left. Now cuts through the middle. Now rolls back out to the left. Finds the corner of the end zone. And the extra point is good. So that will bring the score to 19-0 in favor of Sayreville. Remember, the point after touchdown, if they run it in at this level, it's 1 point. If they kick it, it's 2. So 19-0 in favor of Sayreville with 5:04 to go here, second quarter. So Pope John has set themselves up with an uphill battle, trying to get back into this game. Still plenty of time to do so. It's only 5:04 in the second quarter. However, being down by 19, not the way Coach Francisco would have written it up here for the home opener. So the 5 yards tacked on from the face mask penalty. That's going to start about their own 45-yard line. Here's the kick. Down the field it goes to about the 25-yard line, and it's kicked by a Pope John player. Down to 21. The Lions are able to jump on it. That's number 4. Connor Hart, who saves the Lions from disaster there, falling on the ball and making sure Sayreville didn't recover. So with 4:59 to go here, almost halfway through the second quarter, Pope John will start out from their own 21-yard line, down 19-0. Pope John to the line. Clements barking out signals. Hill flipping back to Benny Platt. Platt takes the pitch, rolls to his right, gets to about the 25-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 4. So the Lions back in the huddle. Clock running. 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Lions trying to get on the board before halftime. So Clements marks out the signals. He'll keep it. Now hand it off to number 8. 8 rolls around the corner. He goes to his left side. Down to the 30 and brought down just at about the first down marker. We'll see if he got enough for the first. And it looks to be, so down to the 32 and a Pope John first down. Again, that number 8 not on the roster. The number 8 we have is Formisano, who's on the line, but that's not who was running the ball there. So we'll just go with the number he has in the back of his jersey. All right, Pope John up to the line. Here's a handoff. Pitch back to Platt. Platt to the right side, trying to get around 2 defenders. The second one trips him up, but not before he gains about 2, maybe 3. Getting down to, we'll say the 34 is where the referee's going to mark it. Well, they put it right on the 35, so Pope John on their own 35. The gain of 3 by Platt. And it brings it to 2nd and 7. Clements under center. Fakes the pitch. Oh, he gives it over to 61. He turns the corner to the right. Only able to gain about 2. That's Anthony Grego. And it's good to see Grego back on the field. No, that's not. That's number 51. Sorry about that. And 51, we don't have a specific number for. So we were looking before. Number 61 was Grego, who went down with the injury. I've not seen him since, but we will look for him. That was number 51 with the carry there. 2:25 to go, second quarter. Clements behind center. 2 men in the backfield. Hands it off to Platt. Platt to the right. Platt barreling his way down to about the 43-yard line. And that's good enough for another Pope John first down. Lions with 2 consecutive first downs here. Well, we got a whistle at the 2-11 mark. They'll spot the ball at the Pope John 43. Lions up to the line. Clock still running. Minute 55 to go. Second quarter. Sayreville leading 19-0. Pope John 2 consecutive first downs. Now over to 51. Takes 1 hit. Stays on his feet. Now he cuts through and gets into Sayreville territory. Down to about the 48-yard line. About a 9-yard run. Number 51. And we got a timeout on the field and a Sayreville player who's down. So the Sayreville coaching staff out to take a look at the player. So the Bomber back on his feet, and that's good to see. That's number 32. Coach is helping him off, but he's walking off under his own power, so glad to see that. With a minute 33 to go, the referees are marking the ball at the 49-yard line. So they only gave number 51 8 yards on the play instead of 9, so we'll make it a 2nd and 2 to go. But the Lions are in plus territory. Here's a snap to Clements. Clements hands it off to Platt. Platt barreling his way through the right side, down to the 41. And that's Pope John's 3rd consecutive first down. So the Lions on the move. Do they have enough time to get on the scoreboard? Minute 19, and the clock is stopped. Timeout on the field. Sayreville going back to the sidelines. Getting a bit of a water break. It is very humid today here in Sparta, New Jersey at Pope John High School and Middle School. A bad thunderstorm. Well, not a bad one. Very quick one, but downpoured for about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes here. And with lightning and thunder in the area, the referees stopped the 14 and under game and brought the players off the field. So that was about 45 minutes to an hour delay. So that's what pushed this game back to about a 4:30 start today. But the skies have cleared up. And there's definitely a lot of clouds in the area, but blue skies overhead. Just still very humid. It's Labor Day weekend, so, what do you expect? As we head into the later months of the season, it will be, it'll be a little clearer. So, play resuming here. Clements up to the line. He'll take it, hold on to it, throws it downfield to his receiver, and through the hands of number 96. That would have been a big gainer for Pope John, but he wasn't able to hold on. Nice pass play by Clements. Ball was maybe a little high for 96. Reached up, got his hands on it, but just wasn't able to bring it home. So Pope John back up to the line. It's at the 40. Second down. Minute 13 to go. Here's a snap. Flip back to Platt. Platt through the right side. Brought down at about the 35, maybe 36-yard line. The flag on the play. Holding against Pope John. And that will bring them back. So a tough penalty there for Pope John to take. Referee's marching that back all the way to the 50-yard line. So Pope John back out of plus territory. They've got to get to the 30 for the next first down. So first and 20. Clements back, rolls to his right. He's got a defender in the backfield, and he's brought down for the sack. Loss of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And with less than a minute to go here in the second quarter, Pope John is stalling. Clock's still running, 42 seconds to go. Pope John in the huddle. Second down. I'm sorry, third down. We'll make it a third down here for Pope John. So 3rd and 21. Here's Clements in the backfield. Clements will fire it downfield. And it's intercepted by Sayreville. 3 defenders around number 96 there. And number 5 is able to make the interception. And the Bombers will take over as the Pope John drive stalls with 22 seconds to go here in the first half. 19-0 Sayreville over Pope John. So Sayreville will start from the 36. So Sayreville will go ahead and call timeout. It's a little bit of a confusion on the line for the Bombers. With 22 seconds to go, they hold on to a 19-0 lead. The Bombers back up to the line. Starting from their own 36. Quarterback under center. Man in motion. Nope. Goes to the tailback. Now on the right side. Breaks one tackle. Now trying to turn the corner. Up on the top of the field. Now to the 50. To the 40. Down to the 35 to 30. He's gone. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Sayreville with the rushing touchdown from their own 36. And Pope John's got a player down as well. As we run out of time here in the second quarter. So the Pope John Lions coach is out to the field to check on the player. Yeah. And I'll make it 25-0. Sayreville on top of Pope John. Player still down for Pope John. So, a player back on his feet, and that is Sean Clements. Clements is walking off, so very good to see for Pope John. So, Lions back out on the field as Sayreville will attempt the extra point. Both Bombers and the Lions making changes. So, Sayreville in the huddle. Once we finish with this point after attempt, we'll go into halftime. Pope John at the line. From the 2. Sayreville coming out. One man down to the line of scrimmage. Now the rest of the team follows. Bombers quarterback in shotgun, one man behind him. Here's the snap. He'll roll to his left, throws down. Reception's made, and they turn the corner. Is he in? No! Pope John knocks him out of bounds just before the pylon. And so, no extra point for Sayreville. They are 1 for 4 in that category here today. But the Bombers have scored 4 touchdowns, and they lead going into halftime over the Pope John Junior Lions, 25-0. We'll break away here for halftime, and we'll join you on a new feed starting the second half. So, halftime here at Pope John High School and Middle School. The Sayreville Junior Bombers lead the Pope John Junior Lions 25-0. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the start of the second half.